Welcome to Even Tacos Fall Apart, a podcast where we get real and talk about the messy side of mental health. I'm MommaFoxFire, and today we're going back to a conversation I had a while ago, actually way back in 2021, with someone I deeply respect, Rob Walker. If you've been feeling burned out from too many video calls, always on but never fully present, or like your brain's just done by the middle of the day, you're not imagining it. That's Zoom fatigue. And it's a real thing. It's not just about staring at screens, it's about how much energy it takes to connect when the usual ways we do that have been stripped away. When this was recorded, we were still in the thick of the pandemic. A lot of us were isolated, juggling way too much, and adjusting to a new normal that didn't give us much time to stop and breathe. Even now, years later, some of those habits and side effects are still sticking around. Remote work is still common. Virtual meetings are everywhere, even if you're in the office. And for a lot of people, that comes with exhaustion, brain fog, irritability, trouble focusing, disrupted sleep, and just straight burnout. So in this conversation, Rob and I talk honestly about how video call fatigue shows up, how it messes with us mentally and physically, and what we can actually do about it. Rob's not just someone who works in the mental health field. He's someone with lived experience. He's real, he's compassionate, and he's got some solid advice without trying to fix everything with yoga and a smoothie. We talk about why your brain feels fried after a full day of video calls, how the lack of body language and physical presence changes communication, and what it's like trying to maintain boundaries when your home becomes your office. We also get into things like touch starvation, the weird pressure to perform on camera all the time, and how people can still find connection in the middle of all of that. And yes, we also talk about the good stuff, because there are some positives that came out of that shift to virtual life. Things like access to care, telehealth, flexible work hours, and being able to show up to a therapy appointment from your couch instead of fighting traffic and parking meters. This episode is for anyone who's ever felt like they were failing at being productive enough while working from home, or who's ever finished a long day of meetings and felt wiped out even though they barely left their chair. If you've been feeling that emotional and mental weight, especially in the context of isolation, tech overload, and constantly shifting expectations, you're not alone. You never were. I'm really grateful Rob came back for this one, and I'm even more grateful we're still talking about these topics today, because this stuff didn't just disappear when offices reopened. These are long-term conversations we need to keep having. Let's get into it. Here's my interview with Rob Walker. Happy Monday, everybody. I am, hey, Laugh for Purpose. How are you today? I am super excited to be here with you on this Monday. It has been a long week, a long weekend of nothing but work, and now it's time for a little bit of a refreshing conversation. And I am really excited that we have a returning guest today, and that is Rob Walker. So if you weren't here last time, you can always go and watch the video. It is posted on my Twitch site. I will be getting it up on YouTube as soon as I can breathe from work. I'll be getting it up on YouTube as well. So feel free to go and check out that past episode. And then today, you knew this wasn't the first time you've seen him. No, he is a returning guest. I'm really glad to have a returning guest. Always happy when someone is like, yeah, I'll come back and do this again with you. So Rob is a father of 3 grown daughters, one which just eloped and got married, and a rescue beagle named Hank. So he lives in a suburb of Boston, works for the Massachusetts Department of Mental Health, bringing the voice of the people with a diagnosis to the table to influence policy and programs. Since March of 2020, so for almost a year, he's worked with an assistant professor from Dartmouth College and an awesome team to train and certify over 3,000 people across the country and world to offer peer support remotely, and talks about how to take care of yourself during this new normal. He's a person with lived experience of a mental health diagnosis, which informs all areas of his work as well. And we are going to be talking tonight about Zoom fatigue. So thank you, Rob, for joining us tonight. Thank you for coming back. I'm glad we didn't scare you off, and welcome.
No, thank you. It was fun last time. So hopefully this will be more fun, because we'll have more time to talk about individual people's challenges with Zoom. That this is really I don't know from your state, but where I live and work, I don't think it's going away soon.
Yeah, I don't think that it is either, especially because I'm down in Texas and people aren't that smart about things down here. So, and it's one of those things also that, I work for a pretty big company here in the area, and we had a really big office. We took up, I think 5 or 6 floors in an office building, and they've cut it back to 2 now because no one's in the office, and they're like, we don't expect to renew those leases. So kind of indicating that everyone's going to just keep working from home, and this is going to be the new normal, basically indefinitely for work, at least. Maybe not for families, maybe not for friends, but for work.
Yeah, I've heard from especially my friends in the members of the disability community that up until March, everybody's like, no, you can't work from home. There's no way these jobs can be done from home. You have to make it into work. You have to be here in person. Then all of a sudden the switch flipped in March, and now everybody's like, yeah, we're not gonna lease office space. Do it from home. Any job can be done from home practically.
Yeah, it's true. If you're not in a service and type industry where you're having to wait tables or deliver food or anything that we're considering kind of these essential services, right? People who are working in grocery stores and firemen, paramedics, police, those kinds of things, they all have to go, right? They can't do that from home. But everything else, yeah. And we had within our company, fortunately not on my team, but within our company, we had a lot of managers who were reluctant to let their teams work from home. And it's interesting to see they've had to just kind of put that trust out there and be like, I trust that you're doing your job, kind of thing. So it's been interesting to see that shift all of a sudden.
And I've found myself working, I think, harder and longer at home than I ever did when I was at the office. There's no water cooler talk. There's no, not that I ever did this, but there's no like place to do extended lunches with someone,
right?
Or just catch up with people.
Yeah,
it's all call, or Zoom.
It really is.
So it's exhausting.
It is. Well, and not only that, but your computer is just there in front of you all the time too. It's just like, my computer is right here. My work computer's here. My play computer's over here. And it's like, I am constantly on because it's here. And why wouldn't I be, Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So last time we met, you mentioned that you were working on some home projects. What's your latest project and how's it been going?
Actually, not great.
Uh-oh.
So it's more of a mini project that our the water dispenser broke on our refrigerator, and I watched one of those YouTube videos that showed how easy it is to fix that. So 2 days later and about $50 worth of tools later, it still isn't fixed, but hopefully the last part I need will be coming in the mail through Amazon tomorrow morning, and I'll be able to fix it. But besides that, the project is to paint our kitchen cabinets. I figured that's going to be a lot cheaper and look a lot better than just starting from scratch again. So I'm looking forward to starting that after I get water in my refrigerator.
Right. I feel like no matter what home project, there's always a tool. Yeah, right.
One project at a time. My wife made sure that I know that.
That's good. Well, I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to only focus on one thing at a time, because you wind up getting one project to a point where you're like, okay, it's working. I'm going to leave it there so I can work on this other project instead of taking it to that final step. So that's good. You married a smart woman.
Yeah, that's my ADD.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite movie or genre of TVs or movies that you love?
Well, my favorite show in of this year and last year is Maine Cabin Masters. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that on I forget what network it's on, but it's hysterical. It's people that restore old Maine camps, cabins, whatever summer houses for people, and the people on the show are just hysterical. Just I'm laughing at all the one-liners they trade with each other the entire show.
Yeah.
Plus, they do good work too.
Mm-hmm. Well, those restoration projects also are just always really cool to see too. That's a good one.
That has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, as far as favorite movie, I have to say The Labyrinth, because it's one that I have been watching since I was a kid, that I watch all the time. It's a great movie. Although it scares my 7-year-old.
Oh God.
Yeah. But I mean, I watch all kinds of stuff. I have a pretty broad list of things that I go through and watch, and I'm trying to catch up on Supernatural right now, that show. But home renovation shows, there used to be one, was it Flip or Flop, or I can't remember. It was either Flip or Flop. Yeah. Or Love It or List It. I can never remember which one was which, but the one where they would take a family and either find, fix up their house. I'll bet it was Love It or List It.
That's Love It or List It.
Yeah.
List It.
Yeah. That's a good one. That one I like. And that, you know what I like about that one? Besides just being a home renovation kind of show, because I really liked This Old House when that was on. Yeah. That one was a great, for a straight renovation project show. This Old House was my favorite. But for one that gives you all of the like good feels of they helped someone and they supported this family, like that's Love It or List It. Yeah. That's Amanda's favorite show. Nice, Kev. Yeah, that's a good one. It really is a good one. Jamie, thank you so much for that sub. How are you today? So what is your favorite way to connect with someone, and has that changed since COVID restrictions went into place last year?
It's changed completely. That really, I'm a sort of a touchy-feely, huggy, one-on-one, seeing people, feeling their presence kind of person. And this has been very hard to figure out how to connect and engage over Zoom, and sort of only connecting with people 2-dimensionally instead of 3-dimensionally.
Yeah.
So it's my whole style of working with people and connecting with people has changed completely.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot for me too, because I wasn't like an overly, touchy-feely person, but I definitely liked just grabbing a cup of coffee with somebody, or just going to lunch, things like that. We were talking about that at the beginning. There's no long lunches, not necessarily a long lunch, but like, let's just walk down and grab lunch and bring it back to the office, or let's just walk down and grab something quick. There's none of that now, except for with my kids, which is different. It's nice in a different way.
Yeah. I work with people I've never met before, and that just blows my mind. I ask, people must think I'm, well, they probably know I'm bizarre anyway, but like, how tall are you? I don't know how tall you are, because all I can see is people from the shoulder up. So I'm trying to picture in my mind, like, who people are. Are you 5'10"? Are you 5 feet?
Yep.
That there was one woman I work with that at sort of the end of our 6 months of working on a committee together, she goes, "Oh, I won't be here at the next meeting. I'm going out to have a baby." And I was like,
You never saw below.
you didn't gain any weight in your face. I said, please, I hope you're not insulted by this, but you have to stand up. I have to see for myself. And yeah, it was all baby belly, nothing else.
That's
I
so
couldn't
funny.
tell, but that's the stuff I really miss. Like
Yeah.
seeing
Yep.
people change or meeting people for the first time. I mean, it's not the same
Yep.
as through Zoom.
We made a hire entirely online, which we've never done. Like all of the interviews, everything, all of it was online. And it was like, this is weird. I can't actually shake your hand after we have this conversation. You know, it's kind of like, oh, all right, bye. Welcome to the team. You know, it's just weird. And I think for people who really do need that physical contact and who do need that, kind of the physical kind of reassurance also, and you miss a lot of body language, you miss a lot of like position shifting, because as you're meeting in Zoom, you're trying to look into your camera and they're down here and you can't keep eye contact if you keep having to look back and forth. It's really a difficult thing. So Zoom has just Zoom, not like Microsoft Teams, because my work uses Microsoft Teams. My kids use Zoom for school, and right now Zoom has over 300 million daily participants right now, from schools to companies to families using it. Everyone is video chatting on one platform or another, no matter what it is. Have you seen any negative or positive impact in the increase of use of video chatting?
I read something, so I couldn't figure out why Zoom or any, I just use Zoom as a generic term.
Yeah.
Why Zoom bothered me so much. And I was reading that, imagine going into a bar and your teachers are there, your co-workers are there, the people you're dating are there, your mother, your father, your family is there. It's like everybody's in the same Zoom room for social. Like my daughter has like social gatherings on Zoom with her friends. My other daughter takes college courses on it. I work through it. Other people just check up on friends through it. So it's almost like being in one room that usually you had a separate place for a classroom and a separate place to hang out with friends and a separate place to date and a separate place to do all that. But with this video conferencing, it's all packed into one. So I think that the whole socialization and the social cues and all that, people are having some issues with adjusting to it. And I think what we don't realize is that it's not the same as meeting somebody in person, that it takes a lot more cognitive effort, that your cognitive load, if you will, your brain works a lot harder. Because right now I'm looking at you, I'm wondering, is that a turtle or a fish in the aquarium behind me? Seriously, is that your coat hanging up on your rack? Is that what's in that other blue aquarium? Like, you know, what kind of microphone is that? So when you're with someone in person, you could just focus on their face. But now you have all this other information that your brain is trying to process, and then add whatever 5 to 20 to 100 other people in the same Zoom room, and you can't even figure out who's talking. Your mind's going back and forth trying to figure out who's talking. So it takes a lot out of you to participate and to be active in a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And I think we're just, the scientists and such are just finally like realizing about how how exhausting it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. It's one of those things that some people don't realize, that your brain does process stuff differently, completely differently. If you're looking at it, not only are you looking at a flat screen here, but your brain isn't getting the depth perception that helps your brain focus on specific things. And if you add in any more than one other person, your brain is just constantly trying to keep up. And it's tiring. You know, I was talking about how much I've been working lately, and I haven't been able to get up and go for a walk or get up and do the things that keep me active. And yet I'm more exhausted than if I had gone on a 3-day backpacking hike, because my brain is tired. And so that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't consider, is just that your brain fatigue causes physical fatigue also. And I think Zoom plays a big part in that, your brain trying to keep up. So Jamie said, from the other side of it, work never really changed for me. I would love a break from in-person interaction. Is that strange? And for some context, she works in a healthcare field, so her work has kind of stayed the same with some added risks as well. But the question is it strange for her to want a break from the in-person interaction?
No, absolutely not. I think it's one of those, the grass is always greener on the other side. It's that I think what's going to come out of the public health emergency is that we're going to figure out as a society, maybe, that what works better on Zoom and what works better in person. And we're going to have the freedom, meaning the freedom from contagious illnesses, but we're going to have the freedom to do what works better in person and what works better on Zoom. And I can imagine how tiring it is sort of keeping up the fort in person for all of us that are working from home. That it's, I'm thankful for the people that do go into work and that do work in healthcare, and that have to put themselves in danger.
Yeah, healthcare work right now is just, I mean, I don't know how you're doing it, Jamie. I don't know how others are doing it. Not only just the risk that you are in kind of, you know, daily just to do your job, but also the pace that you're having to work at now, and the added things on top of your normal job with the extra precautions and testing and everything. She said, I will say depression has outrageously spiked in our facility. Everyone really misses their families and being stuck inside, but not being able to go on outings. Yeah. I think every other person I see is some sort of on some sort of depression medication right now. Yeah.
When during my therapy, talking to my psychiatrist, this was like probably in the summer, he goes, there's not much else I can do but increase your antidepressant, because I can't say join a group. I can't say, you know, go shopping or go on vacation or do something else. It's like, that's the only tool I got right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you say you need a break, it's like, okay, great, I'm taking a break, but I'm still in the same place, and it's still like everything is still the same. That's tough. I can
change my background on Zoom, but it doesn't really change where I am.
I'll put a beach in the background here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change, you know, that I'm feeling carpet under my toes. I was just saying today to someone, I don't even ever remember being so short or mean to people. My coworker made the comment about not having as much human interaction. Perhaps we're forgetting about how to appropriately address people. I'm surrounded by people all day, but on weekends I largely stay home to social distance. Yeah, absolutely. You can't go to a bar or even to a party or anything like that. That's tough.
And I found we're getting bored of food. We're getting like, I can't go out. We could take out, but it's like, I don't know what to cook. There's 4 of us, and we rotate through who's in charge of the meal, but we're all like, I don't know, like, have some crackers and peanut butter. It's like food doesn't have the thrill it used to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been tough for us too, because at the beginning of the lockdown, I was really kind of in like this just cooking rut of I'm cooking the same things. It's like, are we having frozen pizza tonight, or am I making spaghetti and meatballs? You know, which one is it? And I made a commitment that I would keep trying new things, and that has paid off. Trying new things has really paid off, but it's also like you have to put in a lot of planning, a lot of effort, a lot of everything to make it happen. Yeah. And so for the past, couple weeks, we've ordered in. I had been doing really good about not ordering in, and we've ordered in several times. And I'll tell you, it's not the same. It's not the same as going and sitting down at a restaurant to eat. It's just not the same experience at all. So Kevin said, a study has come out of Clemson University that because of the 1.5 second delays, people feel less sincere on the responses through Zoom. That's interesting too, because if you are taking a few seconds to respond to something, people are thinking, were you not paying attention? Was I not clear enough? Did I not make it clear I was done talking? Like how it's kind of the paranoia of, was I the bad communicator here, or are they just not paying attention to me, or is it just the delay? That's a tough one too.
It's, the technology hasn't caught up. The speed hasn't caught up, especially now with everybody on it, with school and work and playing, that it's really hard to do real-time communication. And I think the word for actually the phrase for 2020 is "you're on mute." I think that's like the most repeated phrase besides who voted. But anyway, the most repeated phrase in 2020 is "you're on mute."
Yes.
That the technology still gets in the way of the interaction.
Yep. Well, either you're on mute or you're not on mute.
Yeah. Yep. We won't. There's been some interesting, but I think you asked before, one of the joy or the benefits or the positive things that come out with Zoom. And I think it's seeing people more relaxed because they're in their own space. And I can honestly say the highlight of any Zoom call I've ever been on is seeing people's kids or pets.
Yeah.
It's a nice break. It's like, oh yeah, they're human. They're not just a suit that talks only business language at meetings. That the cats and the kids and the dogs are one of the highlights of any Zoom meeting. And the babies now, because it's been a while, so we're starting to see babies.
That's true. Yeah, I have Tyrion, and I'm surprised he's not over here right now because I'm talking, but he usually will come up whenever I'm talking and just kind of get in my face and everything. And it's really cute. And then whenever my son is home, he's just like constantly walking back behind me, which is cute, but it's also kind of annoying for me to be interrupted so much, because if I were at work in a meeting, I would not be interrupted like that. And if I'm here in a meeting, it just interrupts train of thought. And, of course you want to be there for your kids. You want to help them with whatever they need. But a little bit, it's like, okay, this is the 5th time you've come in here in as many minutes. Can you please just wait until I'm done? That part's tough.
And another sort of benefit from Zoom we found in therapy and in psychiatry is that it breaks down all the transportation barriers, because in my state, and probably in almost every state, that public transportation isn't great. It's great in a couple big cities, but getting from city to city is not great. And people always have trouble getting to their appointments. Even with Uber, they have trouble monetarily getting their appointments. And one of the greatest things about Zoom is for like the specialty care in the big hospitals, like in the city of Boston, you don't have to pile your family in the car, drive 2.5 hours, pay God knows how much, $40 to park to see the specialist, and then pile everybody in the car and drive them back to home. That you can do that. You can roll out of bed and into your doctor's appointment, almost literally. And that's really had a benefit for a lot of people, that they're able to access care they wouldn't be able to access otherwise.
That's a great benefit. Hey, Evelyn, how are you today? That's a really good benefit. And it's also one of those things that I think, at least in my case, my childcare costs have gone down, because I'm like, I don't have to put my son in daycare. His school's not very far. I just go pick him up every day and bring him back home. And so that is no longer a cost, because my being able to go and schedule around that and say, okay, at this time I'm going to be going and picking up my kid and coming back while my other child is in their Zoom class, because they're doing all their work from home. And it's like, I can go pick him up and then they're home here while I'm working for the rest of the day. So that childcare cost has gone down too. That's been a big benefit for me personally, just not having to have that after school care.
And I think traditionally men have done less of the whole childcare and homeschooling, but I think now this is really, I know people, I've worked with famous psychologists that I've tried to schedule for a webinar. She said, no, the morning is my time for the kids. I can't do it till 1. Then my husband's on duty from 1 to 4, and I'm on duty from 9 to 12. So I can't do anything 9 to 12. That's my homeschooling time. So I think it really raises all of our awareness about how hard a job it is to do it.
That's the truth
to the
too.
Benefit of everybody.
Kevin said, when I talk to people about working from home, I tell them not to stop routines. I still get up early and shower and get dressed. I feel like when you stop the routine, you develop bad habits. That's also a really good point. Because if you get out of the habit of doing something that helps support your productivity also and your focus, if you're not able to focus, we talked about this in relation to going to sleep also. On here before, where we talked about, if you're having trouble going to sleep, set up that routine. And it's just like, it's not the routine that makes things happen. It's the routine that puts your brain in the right mindset to make those things happen. So that's a really good point too.
I have a friend that puts on deodorant before every Zoom meeting, just because force of habit. That's what he did before he went to work meetings, before he left his house for work meetings. So that's like his ritual, his routine, and it cues his mind and his body into, okay, I'm going to work. I'm putting on the deodorant. I'm going to work now.
Yeah, whatever it is for you, those routines are really key. That's a great point, Kevin. So what is Zoom fatigue, and what are some of the signs and symptoms to watch out for as it relates to Zoom fatigue?
People have already stated some of them, that sort of the shortness with people, the feeling tired, even though, as my kids say, all you do is sit in front of the computer all day.
Yeah.
But feeling tired, having I just call it sort of brain mush, that your brain's just mush. You can't focus, you can't concentrate like you used to, and you're dull. Your brain is dull. Sounds like one of those ads for Prevagen or something.
You're about to sell us some medication. I can feel it.
Yeah. But really, I think it's just physical fatigue and brain fatigue, and the Zoom fatigue combined with the whole COVID fatigue it's a not so great combination.
Yeah.
And I think I said this on our other call, but I think also we expect 110% of ourselves, but we're working from home. There's a pandemic going on. DC was on fire, figuratively and a little bit literally. So all the political unrest going on, and we're homeschooling our kids at the same time. You can't do 110%. There's not enough of you to go around to keep that together, to keep your work together, to keep your life together with everything that's going on outside of you. So one of the things I tell people, and that people look at me strange, but I tell them, do 70%. Your boss isn't really going to call and check and make sure that, you're doing 110%. That when you figure out what you're doing and what all you're holding together, plus you're holding yourself together, that it's okay not to expect 110% from yourself. It's okay to take care of yourself, because there's plenty of times when you've worked or when you've provided for your family or whatever that you've given 110%. So now's the time to withdraw from that bank. And
you've been loading into it.
Yeah, we talked about not taking time off for the holidays and not taking vacation time, even if it's just not looking at the computer. That vacation doesn't have to be going to the beach.
Yeah. Man, I wish I was going to the beach.
Yeah.
It would be nice. The one thing that I've really noticed, not the one thing, but one of the things that I really noticed about constantly not having these face-to-face meetings is that I don't get as many moments where I am not looking at a screen. Like, I am constantly looking at a screen. And so for the first time that I can remember in my life, I had to get eye drops and start using eye drops, because my eyes, the strain on my eyes and then the headaches that come with that really increased fairly recently for me. And so I wound up getting eye drops. But I think that that's part of it, is just that whenever you are in an office or you are in some other workplace or you are socializing in person, you're not necessarily looking at a screen. And so when you're doing all of that still in front of a screen, you're not looking, 20 feet away. You're not looking 100 yards away at any given time. You're looking this 3 to 4 feet, 2 to 4 feet, right, sometimes for some people. And it's really hard on your eyeballs.
And I think because we can Zoom, everything ends up being a Zoom call. But guess what? Could be an email. It could be a phone call. Seriously. Yeah. It could be just a simple phone call, that it doesn't all have to be, all right, let me get into Zoom, let me schedule one, let me invite 12 people. And it's a 5-minute Zoom call. It's like, just send an email.
Yeah. Yep. There's those
the phone.
coffee mugs that says, another meeting that could have been an email. I need one that says another Zoom call that could have been an email. Well, that's a good point too.
For when it matters, when it needs to happen.
Yeah. So are there steps that people can take once they find themselves in this Zoom fatigue to repair some of what they're experiencing once they're already kind of in the middle of experiencing this Zoom fatigue?
I think one of the things that actually therapists had figured out a long time ago is the 45-minute hour, that if you're scheduling meetings, like schedule them 10 to 10:45 and make sure there's a break. If you have any control over your own schedule at all, make sure there's a break between meetings and get up. Don't use the break to check your email and finish that one report. Get up, walk outside, take a lunch in a different spot than the desk you're in right now for work. And thoughtful managers or people that schedule meetings, do something real bold and like schedule a meeting at 11:10, not at 11. So most meetings will end on the hour. So you're saying you're important enough to me that I'm going to start the meeting late so everybody can have a break between the meeting, and use the breaks to get up and walk, not to do what we do and answer more emails.
Yeah. That's
But I think having that break.
That's a good one, because I have started scheduling, if I am in a meeting and if I'm the one scheduling the meeting and I see that a lot of people have meetings running right up into that time, I'll put it for 5 minutes after and then end it. I also try to end it early. And so that's just to kind of give them some time. Like, we're all human. We all have to drink water. We all have to go to the bathroom. We all have to get up and stretch our legs and everything. But I like what you said about encouraging other people on the call to also do the same. Be like, look, I scheduled this to end at 45 or at 50. Please take that time to go step outside. Please take that time to stretch your legs. Please take that time to walk around your house, whatever it is. I really like that aspect of what you said, because it's that encouraging others to also take care of themselves, because that also comes back to you. Like, then you're given that ability to take care of yourself. You're empowering other people, and in empowering other people, you're empowering yourself. So that's a really good point.
And model it. If you're the boss, just say, look, I can't talk right now. This is my 10-minute break.
Yeah.
Call me at 11.
Right.
I'm going outside.
Yep. I wonder why more people, Evelyn said, I wonder why more companies don't use programs like Discord to communicate with their employees. Imagine just being able to pin an announcement and instantly message your entire workforce quickly and easily. Yeah. I mean, they have lots of different companies have different intranets and everything that you have to click through. And it would be neat to see a company use something. So I don't know enough about Discord, I guess. Is there a limit to how many people you can have in a single Discord? Because that would be my only concern, is that for some of the bigger companies, that could get hard to manage. But yeah, I mean, companies are using Zoom and everything. Why not also use company intranets or poop butts? That's true. Typically.
Well, yeah, they got to use the internet for like non-important things like running the payroll and stuff. So yeah. Just a joke.
Yes. The upper limit's about 10,000. Okay. So 10, like that wouldn't work for my company. We're too big for that. But for a lot of companies, yeah, I think that something like that would really work pretty well. They're programmed by people who don't take user friendliness into consideration. Intranets, yeah, that's true. In my experience, at least, it's difficult.
But I think after this public health emergency is over, that there's going to be a lot more savvy people and maybe not in the back office part of technology, but on what they need to make it work and what doesn't work. There's going to be, because there's going to be a lot more people that are dependent at home on using the technology. And when they get back to the office, either virtually or for real, and the CEO says, no, I couldn't figure this out. I don't want to have a system that I have to call somebody every time I need to log on to it, fix it.
Yeah.
So I think this is another benefit for, I guess, more humanistic technology.
I know,
People
at least
being
for
forced
my
to use it.
kids, yeah, for my kids and their schools, it's been a real learning curve to say, okay, at the beginning of the school year, they were very prescriptive. They said every classroom is going to do it this way. And then I've seen over time, like, that's not the reality, because some teachers, they're like, this isn't it's not supporting what we're trying to teach here. And so they switch to something that works for their classroom. And I'm hoping that that will bleed over not only to schools with that flexibility to say teachers need to be able to use the tools that empower the message versus what is just dictated for them to use, but also to companies to say, okay, we were using this before, now we need to adapt and overcome and enable our employees to use the things that actually help them. But yeah. So social interactions are associated with our brain's reward circuits and hormones and oxytocin and dopamine and all that good stuff. And online friends, we've talked about this extensively. Online friends are great friends. They're real friends. They matter. They count as friends. Don't let anyone discourage you from that. But talking over the wire is also better than nothing. But does having all of our social interactions right now be partially or even fully limited to video chatting instead of happening face to face, does that make a difference in what our brains actually do?
Well, I think it's only limited by our creativity. That, for instance, I saw on television, there's this one therapist that does walking therapy. So shouldn't do Zoom. You just go outside with her 6 feet apart and you walk as you do the therapy. So you're having the person-to-person interaction. You're both wearing a mask, you're 6 feet away, and everything's safe. So I think for a couple of my interns that I have working with me who I previously hadn't met, that we found ways to meet outside or meet at an indoor food court kind of place where we were, 8 feet apart, but at least we had the face-to-face interaction. So I think, so your answer is, yeah, I think it affects our relationship when we're only doing it this Zoom to Zoom interaction, that I think the body is programmed to crave human interaction and to crave person-to-person interaction. I think we just need to be a little bit more creative about how we do it.
Yeah, I love those ideas. I like the idea of the walking therapy and the meeting in a food cart. Are there some other ways that don't use video cams to stay socially distanced but also stay social?
Well, maybe not video cams, but so if you're a person with mental health challenge or have problems with depression or whatever, that all your groups, all your interactions don't have to be around depression, that there's Facebook Live broadcasts, there's Facebook groups on knitting, on parkour, on any subject you could ever think of, or any hobby. So I think the key is to connect with people around hobbies and common interests, perhaps beyond mental health. We have online cooking classes that people take together. We have some and I just lost my train of thought, but we have other quote unquote groups that have nothing to do with anything behavioral health. And we have a bunch of young adults and actually older adults too that play games online. That it's gaming, but when you sort of look at the subtext and listen to what people are talking about, they're supporting each other, but they're doing it playing Fortnite, not in therapy or not in a group therapy situation.
Yeah, I mean, just things like that. And then there's also, you could do something like start a virtual book club where, yeah, you're meeting virtually, you're meeting on a screen, but you're also doing things offline that aren't necessarily on a screen unless you're doing all your reading on your phone. But it's kind of that, I like the cooking class idea too. That's one of the things that you're doing something in life in front of you and creating a product and something that you can see and hold and touch and feel and taste at the end of it. But then you're also interacting with other people online. I think that's a really good way to.
And you can eat the meal together.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
If you will convince everyone to mute while they're chewing.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's a different topic.
Yeah, right. Look, I have enough trouble with my kids getting them. Well, I say that my 14-year-old doesn't smack. It's just the youngest one. And then it's really only when he's eating carrots or chips, because he likes to bite instead of bite and chew. He just likes to bite. And I'm like, okay, stop that right now.
Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just like Bugs Bunny. Yeah. But he doesn't smack. Once it's in his mouth, he's good with it. But yeah, you'd have to convince people to not mute. If it bothers you, it doesn't bother everybody. So are there?
Yeah. So I think there's for people who are friends of Bill W. There's 24/7 12-step groups. I mean, there's somewhere, and I forget the URL for the listing of them, but you can find a group any time of day or night. It might be across the world, but you can find the fellowship groups anywhere at any time, which is another benefit of Zoom, that it's connecting people like they haven't been connected before.
Yeah, that's something that's really nice as well, to just be able to get that support. You know, we were talking about not just getting support online, but it is also nice that the support is online too, because for those who either can't or don't want to meet in person for something, it's an option. And that option is more prevalent now because everyone's been forced into it. Like we were talking about earlier, it was kind of that switch back in March of, oh shit, now I have to really provide this stuff to everyone who needs access to it. I think that's a good thing. Not that it's a good thing that COVID happened or that we're still in it. Right. But I think if we're looking at things that did come out of that and that are coming out of that, that's one good thing that did happen. It's just the accessibility of a lot of different things.
I had a long discussion with a colleague of mine, but it's sort of the great equalizer that the rich people in the Tony suburbs are having the exact same issues that the people with a severe mental illness that doesn't normally leave the house but can't go to the grocery store to get food because of the the COVID ban, et cetera, that it sort of equalizes all of us, that we're all really in some ways in the same boat, and we all have to do the same restrictions. And in my state, we all have to wait in the same line to get tested and to get the vaccine if that's what we choose to do. So it really, I hope people have a more sort of appreciation of humanity with this, through this.
I hope so. Are there any regular habits that you either maintain yourself or that you encourage people that you encounter through your work as a peer support specialist to develop, that you feel like, unlike sleep enough and eat enough and exercise enough, maybe they don't get enough attention, but that support well-being?
So well-being is more than just yoga and exercise. That I think a lot of well-meaning people have said, well, I have major depression. Well, have you tried yoga? It's like,
yes.
No, wow, you saved my life. That it's, and I'm sorry if people practice yoga. I don't mean that as a
no, we get it.
People with yoga, but that's like the few things. Try some fresh air. Try mindfulness.
Just go outside. How about just smile more?
Do yoga. Yeah, smile. Think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't say
I'm cured.
What I say to them, but yeah, F you. But
yeah, no kidding.
But I think it's regularly interacting with people somehow, that through the internet or someday in person. And I think one of the keys is feeling part of a community, that part of this community that you have going here, part of whatever, the knitting community, part of the volunteer community, that feeling a part of something bigger than us, I think is the biggest, has helped me, and is sort of the biggest contributor to positive mental health during all this.
Yeah. Finding where you fit in a way that makes sense to you.
Because everybody fits somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. So
except
last
for me
time
into my clothes, but
you just need stretchier clothes.
Yeah, we'll discuss that on another one.
You know what you need? You need yoga pants.
Yeah, that's true.
Magical yoga pants that also cure depression.
Yeah, there you go.
So last time you were here, we did our magical Disney moment, and since you have returned, you get a second magical Disney moment. So if you could wave a magic wand, and I'm gonna wave this wand for you, and eliminate one common opinion, misconception, or theory surrounding mental illness, disabilities, or talking about mental health, what would it be? And I'm just gonna wave this little magic wand, and now you get to eliminate whatever it may be.
Just one.
Just one.
That people with depression are lazy, and if they just try harder, and literally if they just smile more, they'd be less depressed. And that's so much further from the truth. That I don't know if I couldn't explain what it is. Is it biological? Is it because of your family? Is it related to trauma? It's probably all those things, but We're not lazy.
Hmm.
We're resilient.
Yeah. I love that.
They're
We're not
trying it.
lazy, we're resilient. That's beautiful. Yeah, it's hard to describe to someone who doesn't have depression, like, because I smile a hell of a lot. I smile, I
Yeah.
laugh, I tell jokes, I love funny things, like everything. And it's like, oh, except for here's this whole thing inside my head of I also have major depressive disorder. And it's hard to explain to someone who has never experienced depression what that's like. And it's like, you don't know the pressure that you wake up with immediately that's in your head. And it's one of those things that you just want to say, yeah, I'm smiling, but that doesn't mean that I'm not struggling, you know? And it's definitely one of those things of that also doesn't mean that if I don't do something because of my depression, that cannot be categorized as lazy. That is a symptom of an illness. And it's hard to describe that to someone who doesn't necessarily experience the same thing that you do.
And I'll spend all the rest of the night saying, well, should I have said that? Maybe I gave her the wrong answer. Maybe I should have said this better. No, I mean, that's just the internal dialogue that goes on.
Yeah,
Oh my God, did I really say that?
It's nonstop, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it's nonstop, and it's like it's so hard to turn off to make that voice in your head quiet down, to say, you know, just okay, everything is good, everything is fine. Stop for a little bit. Stop.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's hard to do. With that, I will open it to any remaining community questions and answers. If anybody has any, feel free to pop them into the chat. And I will turn it over to you and just say, if there's anything that we didn't cover, anything you want to throw out there as far as resources or sites or personal recommendations, something that you didn't get to say or anything like that, feel free to go ahead and talk about them while we're getting any additional questions from the community.
No, this has been a great conversation, and I'm glad that people have spoken up in the chat box and made comments. And
melodies, there's only so many
things
you can do.
There is no right way to go through this. I mean, we haven't been through anything like this since 1918, and I don't even think they had telephones back in 1918. So I'm not sure the technology was the issue or the challenge during that public health emergency. But so yeah, these are hard times, and just the fact that we're all making it through is amazing. And I think we're all going to be stronger through this because of this.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is testing, challenging, unprecedented in our lifetimes, but we can get through it together. I really do believe that we can get through it together. Bite Mark has a question. She said, I know this isn't really the topic at hand, but any advice for people dealing with touch starvation while we're all socially distant? I love that question, Bite. That is a really good question. So any advice for people dealing with touch starvation while we're socially distanced?
Pets are helpful. Other people's pets. I mean, you don't necessarily, if it's not in the budget or in your rental agreement or whatever, you don't necessarily have to have one. But if you walk around where people are walking their pets, that pets help. And there's a I forget what it's called. There's a way that people use to calm themselves down through EMDR, which is the double tap, that if you double tap yourself like that, this seems to help with the experience of an immediate trauma. And I think it helps with touch starvation too. Sort of I guess, hug yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A group hug. But no, it's a challenge.
Yeah, it really is. And Evelyn said a weighted blanket. That's a really good idea too. So two things that I want to add. If you don't have pets, can't have pets, don't know anyone with pets, find a local animal shelter near you who is willing to let you walk their dogs, because they always need someone to walk the dogs. They always need someone to help out. And you can get a little bit of animal stuff there. And then also, oh shoot, it was in my head and now it's gone. I literally said there's two things and now the other one is not there. Oh, your children. If you have children and they're not super touchy feely, you can still ask them for a hug. My 14-year-old will come in here and say, can I have a hug, or do you want a hug? A lot of the time they'll say, can I have a hug? Or sometimes they'll say, do you want a hug? And it's like, I know that I can go ask them also to say, can I have a hug? I need a hug. And they'll always give me one. And then my son also, he'll always give me one. And it's just like, you can ask them for something that they're not used to giving you, because the likelihood is that they need it too. And so if you're needing some touch, you can just say, hey, can we just sit on the couch together? Or hey, can I just get a hug? Can I get a long hug? So your kids are there and they need that touch as well. So don't forget that you can ask them for that too. Oh, okay. One of my cats was freaking out, and it's because my child had hers. Okay. Okay. That's the 14-year-old I was talking about before.
Yeah. Right on cue. That was
yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. So animal shelter, and then also you can always ask your kids for hugs if you need a hug, because the likelihood is that they need it too. That's a great question. And I like the suggestion of a weighted blanket as well. I don't have one. I just pile extra blankets onto my bed because I like to sleep really hot. So it works. Well, thank you, Rob, for joining us today. Chat, give me just a minute to disconnect with Rob offline, and I will be back playing a game. Might see if Bite wants to play some Minion Masters and get some pre-mades done. I know that we have a pre-made challenge right now, but thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your time here, and I know that chat does as well. So chat, give me...
We can talk when the COVID is over.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Talk about what we learned.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Thanks for sticking around for this episode of Even Tacos Fall Apart. I hope hearing from Rob Walker gave you some validation, some relief, or at the very least, some sense that you're not the only one feeling drained by nonstop video calls in this always connected way of living and working. We covered a lot, from the mental strain of trying to stay on in a little video box, to the impact of missing real in-person connection, how burnout can sneak up on you even when you think you're just sitting at a desk all day. And I think what really hit home for me, even now, years after we recorded this, is that video call fatigue isn't just about work or meetings. It's the pressure to perform, the constant self-awareness, and the loss of small, meaningful human interactions that we used to take for granted. One of my biggest takeaways from talking with Rob is that it's okay to say, I need a break. It's okay to not give 110% every single day. You don't have to be productive all the time. Taking care of your mental health means recognizing your limits and protecting your energy, even if that means blocking off time to just not be on camera, or stepping outside between meetings for 5 minutes. And yeah, it's also a reminder that some things can be a phone call or an email. Not everything needs to be a video meeting. Give yourself permission to cut through the noise where you can. If anything in this conversation resonated with you, or if you're thinking of someone who might need to hear it, share this episode. And if you're feeling generous, please take a second to like, follow, or subscribe wherever you're listening. Ratings and reviews and comments help more folks find the show, and it really does make a difference for a small podcast like this one. You can also find more resources and support info in the episode description or on tacosfallapart.com. If you've got a story to share, thoughts on this episode, or just want to say hi, I would love to hear from you. Reach me on social media, I'm MommaFoxFire everywhere, or through the contact page on my website. Take care of yourself, take a break when you need one, and remember, even when things feel like too much, you're not alone and you are loved.